A single mother boards a red-eye flight hoping for rest. But an unsettling encounter quickly shatters the peace. Just when she feels completely alone, an unexpected ally beside her changes everything. Who really is the quiet man in the next seat? And was their meeting truly by chance? If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to let us know in the comments where you're watching from. The fluorescent hum of the airplane cabin was usually a soothing lullaby for Amelia. Today, however, it was a buzzing reminder of her precarious situation. Her 2-year-old Lily was finally asleep, her small head nestled against Amelia's chest, a damp patch already forming on her blouse. Amelia, a single mother juggling a demanding part-time job and the endless needs of a toddler, was exhausted. This flight, a rare and much-needed visit to her sister across the country, felt like both a blessing and an insurmountable challenge. She had managed to get Lily through security, onto the plane, and fed without a single major meltdown, a personal victory in itself. Now, with the cabin lights dimmed for the red-eye flight, she hoped for a few hours of quiet respite. Next to her, a man in a crisp dark suit was engrossed in a thick book. He had a stern, almost unapproachable demeanor, but had offered a polite, brief nod when they first boarded. Amelia, too weary for small talk, had simply returned it. The peace lasted for about an hour. Then the man across the aisle, who had been loudly talking on his phone before takeoff, a clear violation Amelia noted with irritation, began to stir. He was burly, with a flushed face and a booming laugh that seemed to echo even when he tried to whisper. He had been eyeing her intermittently since they boarded, and Amelia had tried to ignore it, focusing on Lily. "Well, hello there, sleepyhead," the man slurred, leaning slightly into the aisle, his voice cutting through the quiet. Amelia flinched. He was addressing Lily, but his gaze was fixed on her. "Cute kid. Yours?" Amelia offered a tight, polite smile.
Yes, she is.
"Traveling alone with her, are we?" He continued, his eyes lingering. "That's a lot of work for a pretty lady like yourself." A shiver of unease ran down Amelia's spine. His tone was too familiar, too suggestive. She pulled Lily a little closer, subtly shifting her body to create a barrier.
It's fine, thank you.
The man beside her, the one with the book, shifted slightly in his seat. Amelia glanced at him, hoping for some acknowledgement, a sign that he noticed the man's inappropriate behavior. But he merely turned a page, his face impassive. Amelia felt a pang of disappointment. She was on her own. "Come on now, don't be shy," the man across the aisle persisted, his voice growing louder. "A pretty smile like that shouldn't be hidden away. What's your name, sweetheart?" Amelia's heart began to pound. She could feel the blood rushing to her cheeks. She hated confrontation, especially when she was so vulnerable with Lily.
Please, I'm just trying to get some rest.
She said, her voice barely a whisper. "Rest? On a plane? What fun is that?" He chuckled, a grating sound. "You should be enjoying yourself. Maybe I could help you enjoy yourself. I'm traveling for business, got a nice hotel room waiting for me." His words were like a cold slap. Amelia felt a surge of fear mixed with anger. How dare he? She gripped Lily tighter, her knuckles white. She desperately wanted to call a flight attendant, but she didn't want to wake Lily, and she felt paralyzed by the situation. "Sir, I think you've had enough." A calm, firm voice suddenly cut through the air. Amelia's head snapped up. It was the man beside her. He had closed his book and was now looking directly at the harasser, his eyes steely. There was no anger in his voice, just an unwavering authority that made the other man pause. The harasser, momentarily taken aback, scoffed. "And who are you? Her bodyguard?" The man beside Amelia didn't dignify the question with a direct answer. Instead, he leaned forward slightly, his voice dropping to a low, resonant tone that somehow carried across the aisle. "I suggest you return to your seat and refrain from bothering this passenger." Immediately, there was something in his gaze, a quiet intensity, that seemed to strip the harasser of his bravado. The man's face, previously red with alcohol and aggression, paled slightly. He mumbled something inaudible, then, to Amelia's immense relief, he slowly retreated into his seat, turning his back to them. The cabin remained silent for a moment, the only sound the gentle hum of the engines. Amelia let out a shaky breath she hadn't realized she was holding. She turned to the man beside her, her eyes brimming with gratitude.
Thank you.
She whispered, her voice thick with emotion. He offered a small, reassuring smile. It's all right. No one should have to deal with that. He then looked down at Lily, still peacefully asleep. She's a good sleeper. Amelia managed a weak laugh.
She is, thankfully.
My name's David, he said, extending a hand. David Miller.
Amelia Johnson.
She shook his hand, surprised by the strength and warmth of his grip. Are you all right, Amelia? He asked, his gaze gentle.
Yes, now. Just shaken.
She looked at the man across the aisle who was now conspicuously pretending to be asleep.
I don't know what I would have done.
You handled it well, David said, though Amelia knew she hadn't. She had been frozen. Some people just don't know how to behave. They fell into a comfortable silence for a few minutes. Amelia felt a sense of safety she hadn't experienced since the flight began. She risked another glance at David. He was tall with broad shoulders and his dark suit seemed to fit him perfectly. His hair was neatly cut, and there was an air of quiet discipline about him. He didn't look like an ordinary businessman.
Do you travel often, David?
She asked, trying to make conversation. He nodded. Quite a bit, yes, for work.
What do you do, if you don't mind me asking?
He hesitated for a moment, then gave a slight smile. I'm in the Air Force. Amelia's eyebrows rose in surprise.
Oh, a pilot?
He chuckled softly. Not exactly. I'm an officer. A senior officer, actually. Amelia's eyes widened. A senior Air Force officer. That explained the commanding presence, the unwavering authority that had silenced the harassers so effectively. It wasn't just a polite request, it was an order, delivered with the weight of rank and discipline.
Wow, that's impressive.
It's a demanding job, he admitted, but rewarding. He paused, then added, I've seen my share of difficult situations. That man was out of line. I'm glad I could help.
You really did. I was so scared. And with Lily, I just didn't want to make a scene.
Understandable, David said. But you shouldn't have to tolerate that kind of behavior, especially not with your child present. The rest of the flight passed without incident. David occasionally checked on her and Lily, offering a kind word or a small, reassuring nod. He didn't pry, didn't make her feel obligated to talk, but his presence was a comforting anchor. When the plane began its descent, Lily stirred and woke up, blinking sleepily. She looked up at David with wide, curious eyes. David smiled genuinely, and Lily, usually shy with strangers, offered a tentative smile back. As they gathered their belongings, David offered to help Amelia with her carry-on. Are you being met at the airport? He asked.
My sister is, thank goodness.
Good, he said. Just make sure you report that man to the airline. They should have a zero-tolerance policy for that kind of harassment.
I will,
Amelia promised, feeling empowered by his suggestion. She hadn't even thought of that in her initial fear. At the gate, amidst the throng of disembarking passengers, Amelia spotted her sister, Emily, waving frantically. She turned to David.
Thank you again, David, for everything. You really saved me.
He nodded, a serious look on his face. It was my duty. Take care, Amelia. And you too, little one. He gave Lily a gentle pat on the head. Before they parted ways, David discreetly handed Amelia a small card with his contact information. If you ever need anything or just want to talk, he said, his gaze warm. Amelia, surprised but pleased, reciprocated with her own number. Over the next few weeks, their initial calls turned into longer conversations, sharing stories and laughter. What began as a chance encounter on a plane, born out of a moment of distress, slowly blossomed into a deeper connection, hinting at a future far beyond that unexpected flight.